All right, so as you guys know, I've been doing some gambling. I dabbled just a little bit, and last week we did the first iteration of I don't really know what segment I want to call that yet, but where I'm gonna put some money down on some spreads and try to see if I can help you win some money. I do this with the NFL a lot. One thing that I think is a pretty cool exercise isn't like, you can do like alternate spreads, like, oh, such and such is an 8-point favorite. I'm gonna move it down to 3.5 kind of thing. Like you can do that, but I also think like it just doesn't feel as satisfying when you lowered the spread a little bit to give you an advantage, right? It feels nice to have beat Vegas. So I did a lot with football, and I didn't keep track of I can go on my DraftKings app and like go through it, but I didn't really keep track put it on wax anywhere. Hey, this is my record. This is what we did last week. This is what I got this week. And I think it's a really good idea because when I tell people, hey, I had a better than 50% rate, people aren't going to believe me. And trust me, I wouldn't believe me either. So if I put it on here, there's proof. It's in the pudding, yada, yada, yada. We'll go an odd number, but the rules are very simple. My rules for me are very simple. I'm going to go off the spread provided to me by DraftKings. I'm not going to move anything at all. I'm not really big on player props because it only takes one twisted ankle, one pulled groin, one freak incident, and all of that's gone. I mean, now granted, that's the same with a game, right? Like the superstar, one freak incident, and it can change whatever. But, it's a team sport. And, who knows? Maybe people can still turn up in support of that star player. So that's all I'm going to do. It's going to be the teams. I'll either do 3 games or 5 games, depending. I'll review the previous week, and then I'll tell you what I had for the upcoming week. So, reviewing of last week, it was a pretty good week. And by pretty good, I mean 66%. Now, I only did 3 games, but going 2-1 means you had a profitable week. First game I did was Raptors. The Raptors were a 7-point underdog. I think it might have been in Orlando, but I thought it was in Toronto, and I think that's why I picked them. The Magic they've been riddled with injuries, and they've kind of been struggling to get back to rhythm after a pretty good start to the year. Once Paolo went down, I just felt like the Raptors are just kind of a team that's not playing for anything, which means they don't really have anything to lose. They can just play free. They brought in Brandon Ingram. Raptors +7. Cha-ching. The next one I had was Lakers +3 against the Clippers. The Lakers were a 3-point dog against the Clippers. I don't really believe in the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard or not. James Harden scoring 50 or not. No Paul George or with Paul George. So I thought the Lakers were a better team. Luka's been on the team and been gaining rhythm. So I had Lakers +3. They won outright as well. And then I had Cavs -11.5 against Portland. They beat Portland in overtime by 4. I'm not really sure what the deal was with that. I don't know why. I didn't watch that game. I don't know why the Cavs struggled with the Trailblazers. But again, the Trailblazers are a team very similar to the Raptors where they're not really playing for nothing, so they don't have anything to lose. They can play more free. So I decided, you know what? Let's bet against Portland again. Idiot, right? So this week, we went 2-1 last week, which puts us at 2-1 on the year. I think it's a lot harder betting on basketball than it is betting on football. But if I'm 2-1, I'm 2-1. So this week, we've got the Pistons -3 at Portland. Like I said, I'm going to bet against Portland again. I don't think Portland's that good either. And I mean, F it, why not, right? So Pistons just lost a tough one in Golden State Saturday night. So that might be something that's a little bit iffy. But when I look at the injuries, DeAndre Ayton's out. Portland's got a few injuries. It doesn't look like anybody other than Jaden Ivey is out for the Pistons. So I'm going to go Pistons to win that game. If they do win, I do expect them to win by at least 3 points. I've got the 76ers at home against the Jazz. They are 5.5-point favorites. This is honestly because it's Utah, not because it's Philly. And with no Embiid, guys maybe can play a little bit more free Paul George was bored. I watched Quentin Grimes put up 44 against the Sixers last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago, whenever it was, which was pretty insane. I don't expect them to do that again, but they're at home. They did not play last night. They did not play Saturday night. So I think they're going to cover 5.5 against the Jazz, because even if that game is close, it only takes a quick 6-0 run, when you were up 1 and boom, make some free throws. So I got the Sixers minus 5.5. And then lastly, the Bucks and the Cavs play tonight in Milwaukee, and the Cavaliers are a 9-point favorite. Well, the Cavs just burned me being an 11.5-point favorite against Portland. If you think that I think that, you know what, actually, before I even speak, let me go and check to make sure there isn't a reason why that spread is so high. Because Giannis is playing, Dame is playing, therefore I'm not tripping. Bucks have won 4 of their last 5, just lost to Orlando a few days ago. The Cavs obviously won 5 of the last 5, but beat Charlotte by 1. They beat Portland in overtime. They beat the Celtics. They're due for a loss at some point here. The Bucks, they beat the Bucks by 1 the first time they played. They beat the Bucks by 2 the second time they played, and they beat the Bucks by 13 the last time they played. The last time they played. That was 3 months ago. Give me the Bucks plus 9. So the Bucks to cover 9 points, which means that even if the Cavs win, it's by less than 9. The Sixers minus 5.5, meaning that the Sixers, not only do they win by at least 6 points. And then lastly, I have the Detroit Pistons to beat the Portland Trailblazers by at least 3 points. So you have it. Those are my 3. I wanna bet 5 at some point, but I was really, really iffy. So Suns and Mavericks, I like the Suns, but I don't like the Suns at 8 points. And I think when I was first looking at it, they were 8.5, so 9 points. Didn't love that. Maybe now at 7.5, I'd bet it. Thunder and Nuggets. Aaron Gordon's a game time decision. Jokic is a game time decision. I'm not betting that. Grizzlies and Pelicans. The Pelicans are not good at all. John Morant's been in and out of the lineup. I probably could have done the Grizzlies at minus 9.5, but I decided to stay away from it. The Spurs, all the injuries. I think De'Aaron Fox is getting ready to get season-ending surgery. Vic is already out. Timberwolves are fighting for a playoff spot. I believe they've won a couple in a row. They've won 4 in a row, actually. So, not betting that. And then Kings Clippers, I did think about doing that. The Clippers are minus 5.5-point favorite against the Kings. I actually would have picked the Kings to cover. But I didn't want to do, I'm pretty confident in that one, but I didn't want to do that because that would have forced me to have to do a 5th. Because like I said, and I guess I could have done Minnesota, but they're also 12-point favorite. There's just something about 12 points, man, that just scares me. So, anyway, Bucks plus 9, 76ers minus 5.5, Pistons minus 3. This is what I got for my Sunday gambling slate. I also keep an eye on that Kings Clippers just to see if I would have been correct, and to keep an eye on that the Grizzlies Pelicans to see if I'd have been correct on that. So that's what we got for the Gamblin show episode segment for this week. Good luck. If you want to tag it, tail it, I'll make sure that I post this clip. And then next week we will review and go over the next set. Hopefully I can. You know what? I think I'll go ahead and commit to 5. I'll commit to 5 next week. So no matter what, unless there's not 5 games, I'll find 5 games. We'll bet on them together, and we'll see if we can win some money.